She's a woman in her 30s and has lived a law-abiding life, has gone to school, has worked, has had 2 children, raised one, and has a baby at home with her parents. And no record whatsoever. And with regard to the pre-sentence report, let me back up and go there. My client has reviewed it, Your Honor. It is substantially accurate except for the CG charges. Again, they were basically, they were tossed by the jury. They were not believed. They're not guilty verdicts, but they're a hung jury. So it's a mistrial for those, all of those charges. So I don't think that they should be reflected also in the pre-sentence report. Your Honor, my client, the state makes much about the fact that my client refused to accept responsibility for her criminal acts. These are criminal acts that were determined by a jury. She was convicted. My client does not agree with the conviction. My client has maintained her innocence from day one. My client still maintains her innocence. And as Mr. Catanzaro indicated, and I agree with him wholeheartedly, my client did not fail to comply with the court's order. The court required her to go to Avenel to be evaluated. Or not to be evaluated, to go to Avenel. She did that. She has a right, as Mr. Catanzaro said, to tell them that she does not want to participate in that. Why? Again, because of her constitutional right not to do so. Her Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. And that does continue today, and it will continue for the rest of her life. Just because a jury says she's guilty doesn't necessarily make it so. Now, Your Honor did sit through this trial, and there's no doubt that Your Honor has made his own determination, but really, with all due respect, it's the determination of those 12 people who sat in that jury box, which is why my client, Heather Lewis, is sitting here today before Your Honor for sentencing, and no other reason. My client has maintained her innocence, and as Mr. Catanzaro said, he did take a little bit of the thunder out of my argument. There are people who have been convicted, just as my client has been, and have spent many years in prison, only to be found that they were innocent later, after serving many, many years. In some cases, many cases, because of DNA or lack thereof, or wrong DNA that wrongly identified or didn't identify the person, and that mechanism was not available in the day when that case was tried.